Juno was reviewing documents when Minso knocked. Chairman. Minso entered carrying a folder. Just as he was about to speak, another knock. The door opened gently. Amara walked in carrying 3 cups of coffee. She politely said, "I hope I'm not interrupting. I thought both of you could use some coffee." She placed 1 cup in front of Joon-ho, another before Minso, then kept the last one for herself. She was about to leave. Juno said,
"Amara, please stay."
She nodded and quietly took a seat. Minso opened the folder.
An update from Mr. Han. When the miracle is fully operational, the company registration is complete, the new trading name has been adopted across all operations. Supply contracts have been transferred, the fleet has been rebranded. Staff transition has been done successfully. There has been no interruption to operations. Mr. Han asked me to express his gratitude. He says, for the first time in a long time, he feels like he has a future again.
Amara smiled quietly into her coffee. Mr. Joon-ho gave a single nod.
Okay.
Minso closed the file, opened another. Next, it's logistics. As Minso spread the shipping routes across the table, Amara's eyes settled on a map. She looked at it for a few moments, then quietly asked, "Mr. Kang, may I ask something?"
Go ahead.
Why do we own the logistics assets ourselves?
Minso said.
For control.
Amara nodded thoughtfully. Or is it exposure? There was silence in the room. She stood and walked closer to the shipping map. Amara said, "Ships, containers, warehouses, transport yards. The more physical assets you own, the more opportunities someone has to use them again and steal." She looked at the medical supply routes. Amara said, "Suppose someone plants narcotics inside one of these medical shipments, or compromises a warehouse supervisor, or pays a driver, bribes a loading clerk. The investigation won't begin with who planted them. It begins with whose name is on the shipment." She turned towards Mr. Kang. Amara said, "You'll spend months proving innocence instead of running your empire. The twin needs you, the empire needs you. We need you." Minso slowly looked back at the map. He was beginning to understand. Amara continued, "The value isn't really in the trucks, or the containers, or the warehouses. It's in the capital tied up inside them. What if instead of owning logistics, you owned the investment? Disposing of the physical asset, move the capital into passive income streams like government bonds, treasury bills, money market funds, other long-term investments. Then appoint a professional logistic company. Let them own the operational risk. You simply purchase logistics as a service. The passive income helps pay for the logistic contracts. You still move every shipment without carrying every risk."
Amara looked at Mr. Kang and said,
"I don't think you would want to deal with a third innocent person, do you? Mr. Han never betrayed you. He was simply used. Tomorrow, it could be another warehouse supervisor or driver or employee. The innocent are always the easiest people to use, remember? Why keep giving your enemies the opportunity?" She smiled softly. "It's just thought." "Oh, the twins are probably wondering where I disappeared to," Amara said. "Excuse me." She picked up her coffee, walked to the door, then quietly left. Silence filled the study. Minso continued staring at the shipping rods. After long silence, Minso said,
Chairman, if we no longer own the logistics operations, there's nothing to frame. By the way,
Juno never took his eyes off the map. Finally he said,
So, run the numbers, not the savings, the exposure. I want to know how much risk we've been carrying without knowing it.
yes, Chairman.
Minso responded. Juno picked up his coffee, still looking at the mapping, still looking at the shipping routes. He spoke almost to himself. She doesn't always solve today's problems. She removes tomorrow's challenge. Shipping routes covered one whole, medical supply routes, container movement. Dion stood studying the map. One of his guys approached quietly.
"Boss, everything is in place."
Dion slowly traced one shipping route with his finger.
Kang,
survives because every attack ends too quickly.
He looked up.
I don't need months. I only need 2 weeks. Keep him away from the Empire for 2 weeks, and I'll make sure he returns when the Empire he no longer recognizes.
Understood, boss.
Devon looked back at the shipping route. A faint smile crossed his face.